Welcome to this presentation of VISI PEPS Wire. We are now at the beta testing stage of this development, which is due to be released in June of 2010. As you can see from the tree view, we have created a stock part as well as the component piece, and we can use both of these in the simulation, which you will see later. By highlighting the model manager in the tree view, we can then run recognition. This will find all the ruled surface geometry available in the solid model and used in the wiring process. For those of you who are familiar with VISI machining, you will see that the process is identical to that to find 2D pockets and drilling features within the milling components. These VISI product movies are designed to show the advantages of having a truly integrated system, bringing with it the ease of use, one user interface and one database for all your solid modelling, machining, laser cutting and wire EDM technologies. Having run the feature recognition, we now have a ruled surface in our feature tree. We can investigate the properties of this feature, and because it's been created directly from the side, it knows that it is exactly 100 mm high. We can also go in and have a look at the constraints that actually make up this particular ruled surface, and if we need to, we can actually edit their positions. Or we can literally just have a quick look at the taper angles at any given point on the ruled surface. So let's have a quick look at this on the screen. To investigate these angles, it can be very useful to make sure that you do not run out of any limits that you might have on your wire machine. We will now take it the next stage further and actually use this ruled surface for the wiring process itself. If we now come out of the Edit Constraints option, we can then go back to the tree view and highlight the ruled surface and add operation. This enables us to add a 4-axis wiring operation and choose the machine which we're going to be using for doing the cutting. This then generates a 4-axis wire program with default settings, which is a single cut, and because it is a punch, the lead is done from the outside. The next part of the operation is go to the wire tag and have a look at the project settings. In here we can change the material which is being cut. We can also change the wire size and wire material. This also enables us to check that the piece and the stock are also valid and available for the simulation later. By going to the machine tag, we can also fine-tune this to the control system that we are going to be using. The 4-axis toolpath we have at the moment has default settings. As you can see, we've only got one cut at the moment, but we can go into our technology table and actually then apply a 3-cut, specifically for the AAC machine. We come down to the thickness of material of 100 mm. We can then go in and search for 3-cut technology. Once we've selected this, we can then go into the dialog and make sure that we have the offsets and power settings specific for each of those cuts. What we're looking to do now is go into the tagging option and actually change tagging distance that we're going to add in here of 3 mm, and we're also going to add in a length of this particular tag and also lead-ons to actually approach the part from the tag and to the tag. Now the tagging details have been entered, let's have a look at changing the top and bottom nozzle heights. We can do this by actually snapping onto geometry in the model itself to give us the highest point of the model. This shows at 100 mm, so if we just add an extra 5 onto that and obviously put in -5 to give us the bottom edge for the simulation. We now have a new 4-axis toolpath with the tagging options applied as we determined. We can now see that we have our triple cut toolpath and a tagging operation available to us. Now this tagging at the moment is doing triple cut on the tag itself, but in some cases you might find you want to go in and modify this so that you can grind the tag later and just use a single cut for this part of the operation only. We have an option down here just to tick the box to enable you just to get a single cut for tagging only. Now we have the 4-axis wire path that we require. We can go to the project and actually then call on the solid simulation or the kinematic simulation. This reads in the solid stock as well as the piece that we're going to wire, and it uses both of those to generate the solid simulation. You will notice that the top and bottom nozzles are 5 mm higher than the stock, which was determined in the previous dialog. Let's now run the simulation. As you can see, the wire is now approaching the stock, but it's very difficult to see inside. So what we can do here is to actually make the stock translucent so that we can actually see inside. We can also speed up and slow down the animation so that we can get a better feel for what is actually going on. This process will then run right the way through till we've actually done all 3 cuts, and we can then move on to what we call a separation dialog, and this will graphically indicate to us whether the actual part itself can be removed from the stock material. We will determine whether we can extract it from above or below, and will also give us an idea of whether we have a trapped situation. The solid simulation not only enables you to actually display the stock part and also the finished piece, it can also enable you to put into the equation clamps and fixturing systems, so you can actually see those in conjunction with the wiring program. Having completed the simulation of the wire path, we can now move on to the separation dialog, which will indicate graphically whether the part can be removed safely from either the Z positive or negative directions. As you can see from the crosses in the dialog, it's already indicated to you this is not possible, but if we do it graphically, it physically shows that it cannot be removed. If you want to override this, you can, and continue with the end of the simulation to show the single cut for the tag at the end. If you would like to know more information about our products, or if you have any questions, please call us on 01242 542 040, or just email us at sales@vero.co.uk. Thank you very much for watching this presentation of VISI PEPS Wire.